Welcome, class. Here we go. We're going to do some naming of chemical compounds and some writing of chemical compound formulas. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to talk about the difference with compounds that are ionic and covalent. So ionic is between a metal and a nonmetal. Example would be sodium chloride, which is salt. Okay, sodium is the metal, chlorine is the nonmetal. Covalent, on the other hand, is two nonmetals or only nonmetals because it can have more. H2O or water is a great example of that. So next, what we have is just a little bit more about it, and that is with chemical bonds, we're only dealing with the valence electrons. So it's going to be something that forms a ion based off of how many electrons it gains or it loses. So cations are positive. In order to be positive, they lose electrons, they give them up, they transfer them. Okay, all alkali metals group 1 are very easily cations. They like to get rid of their energy or electrons as quick as possible. And then we have anions, which are negatively charged. They take on electrons. They are nonmetals. Group 17 being the most reactive of those nonmetals. So we have different rules when it comes to naming and writing formulas. And right now we're going to go over the ionic compound. So ionically bonded, you have attraction between opposite charged ions. Covalent bonds, you share electrons. That's why it's co-captain, you share the responsibilities. So with ionic names, the first part, the metal, you always just write the metal name. So for example, Al on your periodic table, when you find Al, it is aluminum. So we're just going to write aluminum. O is oxygen. So you find oxygen on your periodic table, you spell it out, Oxygen. Now we're going to drop the ending and we're going to add "ide." So we're going to drop Ygen and add it as "ide." Finally, you're going to put it together and you're going to get aluminum oxide. So again, the first part of the name is just the name of the metal. The second part is the name of the nonmetal, but you have to drop the ending and make it "ide." So let's do a few of these together. Let's skip the first one. Let's do this one and this one together. On our periodic table, Mg is magnesium. F is fluorine, but you're going to drop the ene, the In, and replace it with IDE. So it becomes magnesium fluoride. On your periodic table, let's find Na. You should locate it as sodium. I being iodine. So IOD, it's usually IDE, INE. We're going to replace it with IDE. So it becomes iodide. All right, I'm going to go ahead and erase. I'm going to count down from 3. I want you to pause it during my countdown, and I want you to try the other 5 and check them when I hit next slide. So we have 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So there are the names. or the compounds: sodium chloride, potassium fluoride, magnesium fluoride, which we already did, cesium chloride, barium chloride, sodium iodide, and finally magnesium nitride. Okay, so that's writing names. In order to write formulas, we have something called the crossover rule, or you might hear your teacher call it crisscross. So sodium chloride, you have the metal and the nonmetal. You have Na and Cl. And after you identify it as either a nonmetal or a metal, we need to know the charge. Okay, so there you go. And we need to get the charges. So you're going to notice that we identify the metal, write the symbol, write the charge, and then we're going to flip-flop where the charges are. So here we go. Metal is sodium. Chlorine is nonmetal. You're going to have the Na, Cl. Each of them has a 1 charge. +1, -1. So what would happen is the +1 would come down, the -1 would come down. But if they're 1s, we remove them and we just stick them together, and you get NaCl. All right, what I want you to do is I want you to try sodium oxide. I'm going to count down from 3, and during that time, go ahead and pause the video, try this one, and then check your answer. 3, 2, and 1. So again, the 3 rules: symbols, charges, cross them over. And then remove charges if, remove the charges, and if it's the same numbers, simplify them. If they're 1, remove them. Calcium oxide, there's our metal and our nonmetal. Write our symbols, need our charges. We're going to crisscross them or cross them over. Get rid of the charges. They're both 2, so we can simplify it down. And finally, we get CaO. I want you guys to do that one more time with magnesium chloride. Again, 3, 2, and 1. So, again, here are the rules. Metal or nonmetal. Symbols, charges. Crisscross them, cross them over. Get rid of the charges. Can we simplify them? No, we cannot. Put them together. Try one more. So 3, 2, and 1. Here's those rules just as a reminder. There's our metal. Here's our nonmetal. Always the metals first, nonmetals second. Calcium. Phosphide is phosphorus. Remember, you have to drop the IDE and look for that on the periodic table. Charges, +2, -3. Crisscross, cross them over. Remove the charges. Can't simplify it. There you go. All right. Here are some practice questions that I want you to do. Go ahead and pause it, and we'll go through it in about 3, 2, and 1. All right. Beryllium fluoride, BeF2. Sodium nitride, that's Na3N. Calcium sulfide, how about CaS? Aluminum chloride, AlCl3. Aluminum phosphide, Li3P. Barium bromide, BaBr2. Gallium sulfide. So it's going to be Ga2 S3. Zinc bromide, you got ZnBr2. Cesium phosphide, cesium has a +1 charge, phosphide with a -3, so you have CS3P. And germanium oxide, germanium with a +2 or 4, but we're going to probably go with the 4, which is most common. So this one you would have had to simplify down. Now, I will say, traditionally, if it has multiple charges, we will have Roman numerals. But we'll get into that at another time. All right. I hope you have some questions you can ask us. And if not, go ahead and get started on that worksheet and we'll be around to help.